God, that was quite frightening. Thank you so much for that. It isn't about me this evening, it is about you, so let's talk about you. There are 1,366 of you in tonight. It's a large enough number for you to accurately represent a cross-section of my audiences at large, which means, according to the research I've done on you, and I have done the research on you, you should, as an audience, break down as follows. 89% of you in tonight will have watched at least half of the TV shows that I've made. The remaining 11% only have a vague idea of who I am. You've been dragged along as boyfriends and girlfriends. 72, and thank you for coming. Read my mind. 72% of you represent the typical Channel 4 viewer, which means you'll be, thank you, which means you'll be aged between 16 and 35, like to think of yourself as liberal-minded. You're skeptical of authority, a bit cynical of newspapers. People think of you as being quite extrovert, whereas you know you're more detached. You tend to observe. You're a people watcher. You pick up on things about people that other people miss. You have large DVD collections, including several still in their wrapper. And you're brighter, you have better taste than everyone else you know, and you download far too much internet porn. And of course, the degree... Of course, the degree to which you possess or don't possess these qualities make you more or less responsive to some of my techniques, so let's choose one of you at random, and we'll see how it goes from there. The first tour I did, I used to throw out a frisbee to choose people, so you'd know that everyone that comes up is, randomly selected, and there are no stooges, I got an email genuinely from a woman whose daughter had been at the National Frisbee Throwing Championships of that year, was sure she'd seen me there, learning my special frisbee aim, I suppose. As far as I know, there are no monkey chucking championships, so I will be chucking my monkey over you during the course of the evening. Third throw of the monkey. Whoever catches the monkey on the third throw, I'd like you to stand up for me. Here is throw number 1. Excellent. Anyone else, please, for number 2? Throw it again. Throw it again for number 2. Not back at me. Excellent. One more throw. Anywhere you like, please. Throw it again. Excellent. Nicely done. Stand. Ooh, bit of a fight. Stand up for me, lady who caught it. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Danny.
Danny, do you wear a watch?
No.
Do you have any jewellery which comes off?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Necklace.
A necklace, perfect, thank you. And you're not planning on leaving before the second half for any reason? Okay, Danny, I'm going to use you. Can you see right in the middle of the stage there's a big white card with a large mysterious question mark on it? Danny, on the other side of that card there's a picture of an animal. And I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You will find yourself naming the animal that's pictured on the other side of the card. You see, I like to start the whole persuasion process before I come out on stage. And ideally before you even come into the theatre, because if you don't know I'm doing it, it makes you more susceptible to it. Danny, did you notice any cryptic images of animals outside of the bar where you come in, where they're handing out the brochures? No. Shit. That's all right. You're not supposed to notice. This is good. Now, this will affect you a little bit differently because you're stood up and everyone else is sat down. But I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You can't not name the correct animal. It doesn't matter if you change your mind over and over again, because ultimately it'll be the animal that feels right to you will be the animal that matches. I realise this might sound barking mad, being so sure that this will work, but it will work. I won't give you any sort of lead. It will just kind of work itself. Not only on you, Danny, also on your chums that you're sat with there as well, if they're of the same pedigree. So, Danny, give me some thought. There's a good girl. And when you... It's not a dog. It's not a dog or a cat or a monkey. I wouldn't be that obvious. But it is a land animal. Okay? A land animal. So not a fish or a bird. All right? A land animal. A 4-footed animal. All right? So, yes or no. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. I won't be in a bad mood with you. So it's not a cow. So yes or no. Yes or no. Do you have an animal in your mind at the moment?
Yeah.
You do. Now, maybe you're thinking, oh, I've gone for one everyone thinks of. Everyone goes. You can change your mind. You can change your mind as many times as you like, all right? You don't have to, but if you want, this is when you can do it. So you know you have a chance to change your mind, all right? Do that if you want, or don't. Stick with it, I don't mind. And then tell me, yes or no, have you got one now?
Yeah.
All right, then nice and loud so they can hear you right up at the back of the balcony. What's the animal you're thinking of?
A mouse.
A mouse. Not as many of you are sat there thinking, an elephant, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, because this will affect you a little bit differently because you're sat down, she stood up. A mouse. Does that feel like a free choice to you?
Yeah.
It does. It doesn't just say on the monkey, be a good sport, please say mouse to any else. It feels like a free choice, yeah? Danny's going to play quite an important part in tonight's show, so it's vital that you are all happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer before we go any further. So if we just bring up the lights, we'll just turn and take a look at Danny for a second and... I realise as we do this, I'm sorry, those of you upstairs, you're not going to be able to see Danny. I apologise for that. Although if you had just paid a little bit more, you might have been able to join in at this point. Bearing in mind Danny was chosen by the third throw of the monkey quite fairly. Even if you can't see it, would you put your hand up if you are happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer, please? Hands up if you're happy with Danny. Okay, it feels nice, doesn't it? Okay, just to be fair, hands up if you are unhappy with Danny for any reason. Please don't put your own hand up at this point, Danny. All right, well, barring about 3 of you, that's an overwhelming vote in your favour, Danny. So why don't you leave the monkey where it is and head up here on stage as quickly as you can. Up you come, Danny. Run, Danny, run. Let Danny through. Run, Danny. Here she comes. Run, Danny, run. That's walking slowly. That's not even a saunter. Hello, Danny. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Would you come and stand over there by the mic for me? Okay, now look, I'm not going to go anywhere near that bit of paper, the card. I don't want you thinking I'm going to change it. Equally, I don't want you looking on the other side yet. But, Danny, if you can just go and put your hand on the top of it, so when I tell you to, you can turn it around. Does that make sense? All right? So on the count of 3, I want you to turn it right the way around like that, so you can step back and it leans the other way against the table and they can all see what it is. Does that make sense? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, a mouse, remember? 2, 3. Turn it round. A mouse, ladies and gentlemen. Now, clearly, yes, clearly Danny has some kind of gift. Yeah, you call that psychic or you call that intuition. You are the judges, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mouse. No. That is a baby mouse with the little tits. I don't know what it is. It's not why you're up here, Danny. Come take a step back. It's not why you're up here. Okay, you're actually up here because of this briefcase on the table, all right? I'm going to give you this briefcase for the duration of the show, Danny. Your job is to bring the briefcase back in one piece at the end of the show, okay. All right? Now, hang on. Hang on. There's a chain on top of the case, and hanging from the chain, you might not be able to see at the back, is a padlock. You can see that from here, yeah? If you look that way. Yes. Your job during the interval is to try and work out the combination on the lock, all right? So look, you can have a look at it so you can see it clearly. It's a combination lock. So look, very simple. You get a number in your head, you turn it to that number, all right? So you get a 14 in your head, you turn it to 14, yeah, or whatever the number is. And you'll need 3 of those numbers to open the lock, all right? So not a challenge to force it open, but I would like you to try and work it out. So if you grab the case for me, that's for you. Thank you. Also, it's just sat in an envelope. Can you grab the envelope too? And bring both of them over here to the microphone. Put the case down for a second, and you mentioned you wore a necklace, so can I just take that off you, or can you take it off easily? Okay. Bear with us. Thank you so much. Easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's very nice. It's a very nice, it's Elizabeth Duke, I think. Okay. I will give you the necklace back when I get the case back from you in one piece at the end of the show, Danny. All right? I realise that... Stay there. I realise it probably sounds a little untrusting. It is, frankly. I have toured with the show for 2 years, and ever since doing this in Newcastle, I can't be too careful. So I will hand the necklace to my trusty roadie, Stephen, who will look after it for the duration of the show. Thank you, Stephen. If you can come back to the mic for me. To the mic, thank you. Put the case down for a second. Now, before you go back, I'd like you to open up the black envelope for me. Inside is a folded sheet of paper. You need to open it up, and nice and clearly, you don't want to unfold it, but just read out what it says on the outside into the mic. Nice and clearly. Out loud, please.
I promise to look after the case and not to get drunk in the interval and leave it in the toilets. I take full responsibility for a rubbish ending to the show if I lose it. And I'm sorry, I laughed at your drawing.
Hang on.
I can see it was a...
I could see it was A. And the animal you said was a...
mouse.
And I can tell you this, you didn't change your mind, did you?
No.
You stuck with it. Open it up. What does it say?
A mouse.
Show them. Show them. A mouse. Ladies and gentlemen, a mouse it was. Danny, thank you so much. I will see you at the end of the show. Look, grab the case. I'll see you right at the end. Danny, everybody. Excellently done. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is the last night I'm ever going to do this show. Thank you for coming to it. Thank you for packing the place out. Although you probably heard it won the Olivier Award for Best Entertainment this year. That's probably why you came. It doesn't mean anything. It just means if you don't like the show, you're wrong. So something I'd like you all to do for me. You can all think of, male, the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young. Think of the surname of the first person you fancied when you were little. Think of the surname of the first person you fancied when you were little. Everybody doing it. Surname of the first person you fancied when you were little. I'm going to choose 5 of you at random to come up here as quickly as you can. We're going to do that by throwing the monkey, and the first person I want to come from the dress circle. So if we bring up the house lights, whoever's got the monkey should be somewhere around Danny. Right, sir, stand up. We want to get it up into the dress circle. Go on, go on. Excellent, well done. All right. Nicely done, okay. Sir, okay, stand up for Stand up. Okay, now you're the first person. You are number 1 of 5, all right? Going to choose 4 more of you from downstairs, which will give you time to get down here while we're choosing the others. So in a moment, you're going to throw the monkey down here. When you catch the monkey, this is what you do. You need to get up here as quickly as you can, but you also need to throw the monkey again to choose the next person, all right? So if you catch it, you need to head up here, but throw the monkey again. Do you want to throw it down here for the next person, sir? Excellent, here it comes. Somebody catch that. Stand up, throw it again. You head down here as quick as you can, sir. Stand up for me, throw it, head up here yourself. Thank you. Thank you, quick as you can, and stand up for me. Stand up, throw it again. Excellent, nicely done. Stand up for me, come up here and throw the monkey again for me. Give it a good throw. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, you're the 5th person. Head up you come. Quick as you can, give them a big hand. Thank you very much. Sorry, what's your name?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, I need to put you over here, Charlotte. You can stand right. No, just there for me would be great. Thank you, Charlotte. And you are?
Philippa.
Philippa, stand right in the middle for me, that'll be lovely. Hello. Hello, what's your name?
Tony.
Tony, we'll put you over here. Tony, if you can stand just sort of about there for me, Tony, that'll be great. Hello, you are?
John.
John, good to meet you, John. If I can put you just there for me, John, thank you. And you are? Hello?
Gary.
Gary, good to meet you. Thanks for coming down. If you can just stand there for me. Good. Okay, if you can try and sort of line your toes up a little bit, just so my whole obsessive-compulsive neatness thing can relax. Otherwise, I have got to make you walk up again 3 times in a row while I make weird humming noises in my throat. So let me explain what I want you to do. You're each going to take a ball out of the bag. I have 5 balls in here. That is 1 each, all right? You'll take 1 out, but don't look at it. And don't let me see it, all right? Just take it out, put your hand straight behind your back, okay? So off you go. What was your name again?
Tony.
Tony. Thank you, Tony. And Gary, was it? Gary. Thank you, Gary. And your name was?
Philippa.
Philippa. Thank you, Philippa. Have a good rummage around. Thank you. Do you want to take the phone? Was it Dan?
John.
John. Sorry, John, if you take it for me. And then you can pass it to... No, take it for me, John. What was your name at the end? Charlotte. Charlotte, will you make sure you're taking the last ball? Otherwise, somebody hasn't taken one. And just throw the bag off into the side. You can chuck it off there. All right, thank you. 4 of you will have a white ball. 1 of you will have a black ball because that's what was in the bag. All right, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to have a look and see what you've got. If you are the one person with a black ball, you might be tempted to give yourself away a bit by smirking or laughing or fainting or something. Don't, all right? Keep an absolute poker face. So for now, I'm just going to look over here. Just bring out your hands like this, but keep the ball contained, concealed in your hands. All right, and while I look over here, please just prise apart your thumbs just enough to take a quick private peek at your ball. Very weird when I say that. Teetering on smut. When you've done that, please put your hands back behind your back. Thank you very much indeed. In fact, if you've got a back pocket, can you put the ball in your back pocket? If you don't have a back pocket, improvise. Okay, that's for you, Tony, thank you. You're all off the hook now, but you will have in your minds the surname of the first person you had a crush on, yes? I'm going to get you to write down that name for me. Now, like the word mouse, you need to write nice and large and clear, so if we do need to show it around, people can read it. So large, clear, block capital letters, all right? Just the surname. When you've written it, you tear the paper off, please. And just tear straight off, just fold it up, put it in your pocket, get everything out the way. That's really important, all right? While you're doing that, I should explain the rules of the game to you, but I need to do this while I'm not looking at you, all right? So please make sure you're listening. 1 at a time, you're going to come up to the microphone, you're going to tell me your name and what you do for a living, and please be honest about that, all right? Then and only then I will ask you a test question. Now, when I ask you the test question, if you're one of the people with a white ball, you must lie in response to the test question. All right? So a white ball is a white lie. Please remember that, guys. If you're the one person with a black ball, though, you always tell the truth. And my task is to work out which one of you is the truth teller, which one of you has the black ball. And all the people I think are lying, I will send back to their seats. Is that all the writing done? Yes? Yeah. All done? Great. Okay, so then let's start with you, Tony. Why don't you come forward for us? Thank you, Tony. So remember, starting off being absolutely honest. Your name, please, and what you do for a living.
My name's Tony. And I'm a house husband, housewife, whatever.
A house husband or indeed housewife. Okay. Okay, thank you, Tony. Now, you understand the game. I'm about to ask you your test question now. If you've got a white ball, you're going to lie. Black ball, you're going to tell the truth. Bear in mind the chances are pretty high that Tony is going to lie at this point. It's only a 1 in 5 chance that Tony would be telling the truth. So we can almost guarantee you're probably going to tell a big fat lie at this point. So face the front, absolute poker face. You also might want to bear in mind, Tony, that because of the sorts of... Keep facing the front for me. Because of the sorts of unconscious behaviours that we unconsciously choose daily, male subjects tend to give themselves a little bit more away than female subjects, right? But don't let that put you off. Don't let any of this put you off. Otherwise, you'll be even less convincing, all right? So keep facing the front for me. If any of you are so convincing that I believe you, £50. If you lie so convincingly that I think you're telling the truth. 50, it's a lot of money to those people up at the back there. Right? £50 if you lie so convincingly that I believe you. All right, so here we go with your test question. Face the front for me, Tony. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2. Can we get a little bit more light on Tony, please? Just a little bit more light? Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What's your mother's maiden name?
Haggerty.
Just to reiterate to the rest of you, your task is to lie as convincingly as you can. It wasn't bad. There was just a very strange pause there. Don't believe a word of it. I'm going to take your white ball off you, send you back to your seat, Tony. There you go. 1 down. Thank you, Tony. Nicely done, though. Not bad at all. I'll let you head back. Not bad at all. That was unfair. That was unfair. I didn't give him any time to think of a better answer, and understandably, he flummoxed. You guys have an advantage. I will ask you the same question. I will ask you the same question, your mother's maiden name. Even now, you can be thinking up a nice, convincing answer, all right? As a tip, come out with the name of someone else you know. That's often more convincing than trying to make up a name, all right? But we'll see how it goes. Let's go with Charlotte. Come forward. If you can just stand there for me. Into the microphone. Your name and what you do for a living?
My name's Charlotte and I work for London Ambulance Service.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I work for London Ambulance.
London Ambulance Service, excellent, thank you so much. All right, so Charlotte, you understand the game. What is your mother's maiden name?
Haylock.
Okay, very open, relaxed, innocent. I'll keep you back in line for the moment, very good. Maybe too relaxed and innocent, that's the only thing. Normally when people are put on the spot, they do tend to act a little bit guilty. That's, like if the police knock on your door and you haven't done anything, but you act like you've murdered somebody because they are stood right there. If the police knock on your door because, the girl had said she was older than she was when you were on tour or whatever that is for you. Let's go with Gary. Do you want to come forward for us? So, your name and what you do for a living, please be honest.
My name's Gary, and I work in IT.
Very good, thank you, Gary. And I'm going to ask you the same question, so here we go. Your mother's maiden name, please.
Johnson.
Okay, spoke about being too innocent here. The opposite's also true. Very difficult not to blush if you know you've been caught out in a lie. That's a very common response because lying has a terrible stigma attached to it in our culture. We use words like, you dirty liar. No, you filthy liar. You dirty, filthy, stinking liar. We use words like that. Very difficult not to blush. If you know you've been caught out, you know what blushing is. It's just blood that kind of rises up through the collar line. You get that sort of warmth across your forehead and across your cheeks too. And there you go. Lovely shade of beetroot. I'm going to take your little white ball off you. Send your big red face back to your seat, Gary. Excellent. Nicely done, though. Thank you very much indeed. All right, so let's go with John. Would you want to come forward for us? Thank you, John. And into the microphone, please. Your mother's maiden name is?
Smith.
Okay, I'm going to keep you. Back in line, please. Philippa, you're last. If you can come forward for me, too. Oh, it's what I call the walk of shame. Did you see it? It's this kind of... Okay, it's that sort of... It's the walk of somebody who doesn't want to walk forward. It is the walk of a woman burdened by her own guilt. A woman on her way to the gallows. I won't even ask you to say a word. I'm going to take your white ball off you, send you back to your seat, Philippa. There we go. 1 down. Thank you, Philippa. So it's one of you two. Would you both come forward for me? Both of you come forward for me, please. Okay, stand. If you can just stand and face each other sort of about there, that'll be great. Lovely. All right, so look, one of you two is the final liar, one of you two is the truth teller. All right? For this last round, I won't ask you your mother's maiden name, I will ask you the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young, all right? However, for this last round, you only answer in your head. You say nothing out loud, all right? You only answer in your head. Same rules applies. If you've got the white ball, you're going to lie. You're going to think a lie. Black ball, you're going to think the real name, but you only do it in your head. You say nothing out loud. Is that clear? Yep. Okay, both of you turn and face the front for me. Thank you. In your mind then, not out loud, think of the surname of the first person you had a crush on. Do that for me now. And as you're doing this, what we're looking for, they're called micro signals. Tiny flickers of guilt. Oh, nicely done. Thank you. Keep facing the front. Don't look. I'll tell you what I think. I think our truth teller is on this side. A lot of you are going to have this round the other way. I think this is our truth teller here. I think our final liar is here. All right? Truth teller here, final lie here. If I'm wrong, all right, it's this person who gets the £50 because this is the person, it's difficult. Well, £40, we'll say £40. If I'm wrong, because this is the person I think is telling the truth on this side. I love this game. Let's find out. Can you both all just get the ball ready first behind your back? Just make sure you're holding onto it. Don't let anybody see. Hold onto it behind your back. Done? Done? Yes? Okay. All right, for £30, will the truth teller please place her or his black ball into my hand? Yes, excellent. Thank you so very much. Stay right there. Which means you've got the last white ball, is that right? Thank you very much, John. I'd like you to go and sit down again, but thank you very much indeed. Now, you're all intelligent people. You know that these skills are not psychic. And if you watch the TV shows, you'll know my skill base is magic, suggestion, psychology, misdirection, and showmanship. And as part of that, I kind of give myself permission to be a bit dishonest with you sometimes if I think it heightens the effect, but I'm always honest about my dishonesty. Yeah? Unlike the psychic industry, which is occasionally well-meaning, but always based on dishonesty. And big business too. There are some brochures outside in the foyer, things that are kind of going on around London. There are some fantastically expensive courses you can go on if you want to learn psychic powers. And if you choose page £1,400 a week to learn rubbish, then that's up to you, but there are some brochures out in the foyer. And Charlotte, was it? Thank you so much for coming up. Look at me now and just sleep. Just sink right the way down, right the way deep, right the way sound asleep. Just drifting and sinking and floating. Take all the time you need to do this. Right the way deep and right the way sound asleep. Now, you can still hear and understand everything that I'm saying. That's really important. But this will allow you to do this perfectly. What I want you to do in your mind, Charlotte, nothing out loud, is first of all to picture that person, that first person you had a crush on. And as you picture him stood there, I want you in your mind just to begin to repeat that name to yourself over and over again. In your mind, please, nothing out loud. Nothing out loud, just repeating the name to yourself over and over again. And as you do that, as you whisper the name to yourself, not moving a muscle, I want you to begin to move the picture in a little bit closer to you, so it's a little more clear, that you can really look at the picture and see it really clearly in front of you. Good. And just saying it to yourself over and over again, saying the name, and each time that you whisper it, just getting a little bit clearer, a little louder in your mind, but with a nice warm sense of a whisper. Okay, stay. You're doing absolutely great for me, Charlotte. Stay right there for me. Let me show you the rest of you. I'm sort of going to half guess this because I'm not sure. So it probably won't be this exactly, all right? So it's a bit of a guess, but it'll be something like that. It's a bit difficult because there's only the one plosive at the beginning, which doesn't really help. But it'll be something like this. If it's not this exactly, it'll be something similar. I hope you can all see that. Okay. So Charlotte, you take all the time you need, please, just to slowly reorientate yourself back to the room and take all the time you need to come back to us. Okay? It's weird, isn't it? You all right? Okay, nice and honest. Please, honestly, into the mic. The name of the first person you had a crush on.
Price.
Thank you so much. Brilliantly done. Thank you. I'll let you head back. Charlotte, everybody. Thank you, Charlotte. Excellently done, Charlotte. Thank you. Where is Danny? Danny with a case. Where are you, Danny? Danny with a case. Danny, you've got 20 minutes to work out the combination on that lock. And even if you can't do that, please at least try different numbers. All right? Different numbers, pull at the lock so you know it's a real lock. All right? I'll tell you this, Danny, by now, you know what the combination is on that lock. You just don't know that you know. But you've got 20 minutes to do that. The rest of you have 20 minutes to go get a drink. I will see you back here for the second half. Thank you. What's your name? The K or a C? solid and sharp on the end. Yeah, thank you. Take hold of the end. You don't pull, you just hold it tight, all right? Don't move. Try and keep your hand really still. Nice and tight, don't move. Don't let go. Still, nice and tight. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Thank you, Kat. I did that on television a couple of years ago, and I got a lot of people. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry. eBay, obviously. A lot of people asking me why I did it. You know, do you hammer daily a number 14 male into your head? And no, I don't. But the reasons for doing it led to the formation of the second half of this show, which is kind of the use of the techniques on myself. And I do use them on myself for physical reasons. And there are one or two things I'm going to do in this half that Channel 4 won't let me do on television without putting a warning up on the screen. But I am allowed to do them in the theatre. Okay, I'm going to try and get this up in the dress circle. When you get it, will you throw it back for me? Not back down here, but back up in the dress circle to somebody else, all right? Here it comes. Right, throw it up there again, not down here, just back up to somebody else up there, please. And I'm going to take the nearest guy, wherever it lands. Nearest guy, would you stand up for me, please? What's your name? Stephen. Stephen, what are you wearing on your feet? Boots. Boots, fantastic. Please leave the monkey where it is. Stephen, head down here as quickly as you can. Stephen, everybody, thank you very much. And from downstairs, I need a lady. A lady who is medically trained. A lady who is medically trained. So would you stand up for me? Just if you're medically trained, would you stand up for me? What's your name, lady in the front? Ruth, what do you do, Ruth?
Physiotherapist.
Physiotherapist. Thank you. Stay right there for me, lady behind me. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy, what do you do, Amy?
Cabin crew.
Cabin crew. Ruth, I think I will go with you, Ruth, if that's all right. So, Ruth, could you head up here? A round of applause for Ruth. Thank you very much indeed. Ruth and Stephen. Stephen, thank you so much. Thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Thank you. Stay right there for me. Thank you so much. Would you both follow me around the back here, please? Thank you. And if you can stand there for me, Stephen, just turn and face that way. That's great, Stephen. Ruth, you can come around here, please. Mind the hammer, mind the cable. Just stand there for me and face out that way for me too. That's great. Pain is very subjective. It's a subjective thing. Like when you're young and you tear around influential and you cut yourself and you don't realize that you're cut until you look down and you see the blood and then suddenly it starts to hurt. Or when you're in the bath and you've got your feet stuck out and there's hot water dripping on your toe and you don't know it's the hot tap, you think it's the cold tap. Suddenly when you look down and see it's the hot tap, suddenly it's scalding hot. Pain is very subjective. Okay, we're going to break some more glass. Ruth and Stephen, I need you to check these are real bottles. Would you please do that for me? When you're happy that's real glass and real bottles, you can just place them, stand them on the floor in front of you. When you've done that, I'd like you to put these goggles on for me. And then I'd like you to place the gloves on for me too. It's just red wine stains on that, Stephen, you'll be fine. Okay, you're right-handed, aren't you? So if you can crouch down for me, Ruth, and with your left hand, I'd like you to take hold of the neck of the bottle through the towel. So like that, thank you. You're right-handed as well. If you can crouch down for me. Same thing. Left hand around the neck of the bottle, like that for me. Thank you, Stephen. All right. There's the hammer, Ruth. I need you to bring it down, break the bottle into small pieces. You have to go really hard, right in the middle. Go. That's fantastic. You want to give it one more, or are you happy with that? Are you going to stand up for me? Stephen, there you go. Nice and hard, please. Fantastic. Stand up for me too, Stephen. Thank you. Okay. Now this is all a bit pointless if you think I'm using fake glass, and you'd be forgiven for that because this is often done with fake glass. So I'm going to ask you both, starting with you, Ruth, if you can just step forward, Ruth, onto the tarpaulin for me. Now please don't kneel, but if you can just crouch down and pick up a couple of pieces of glass. You're the eyes of the audience here. Have a look at them for me. Is it real glass?
Yes.
And the edges haven't been rounded down or anything like that?
No.
And sharp edges too, yes? Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to just place them back in the pile for me? Thank you so much. If you can just drop place the gloves and goggles back in that bucket nearest you, that'd be great. Stephen, if you're happy to, I'd love you to take these gloves off and pick up a piece in your bare hand so people know that it really is real, all right? But you'll be careful, yes? Thank you. So just a single piece or a couple of pieces. Okay, is that real glass?
Yeah.
All right, are you happy this is real? Do you want to keep checking, or are you happy? Can you just be careful?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're happy? Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Great, thank you. You can take the goggles off now. I'll take them back from you, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you. See, there are tools and techniques that I've taken on board and made part of who I am, which go back through a tradition of performers who had their heyday in the 1930s. And these are very diverse people. These are vaudevillians and fakirs. And there was one man around that time who went under the name of the Great Prestoni. That was the name that he used. And what Prestoni did, no one has done since him. Prestoni was able to cut off the oxygen to his brain. And it allowed him to achieve two things. First of all, he could be cut, and he wouldn't bleed because it affected the flow of blood throughout his whole body. And secondly, he could withstand massive amounts of pain in relative comfort. And Prestoni was one of a tiny handful of people in history that have done this using real glass. And I became obsessed with this man. I studied everything I could to do them. I spent time with his two daughters that he taught his act to, and they taught it to me. And for me, it's an honor, genuinely, to be able to perform this in such a prestigious theater. Prestoni died a drug addict and an alcoholic. Because that state that he put himself into, it's called cerebral anoxia. It's a lack of oxygen to the brain. It's incredibly addictive. Now, I shouldn't say this. When you come out of it, it's euphoric. Then that can lead to an addictive personality, which is ultimately why Prestoni died in the way that he did. Ruth, would you come around here for me? Come around this side. Ruth, this is not the nicest job in the world, but I need you to check my feet. All right? I need you to check that there's no special skin or anything attached to them. I'm sorry, it's very warm.
No,
up
just
here.
nice, sweaty feet.
Thank you, yeah, I apologise for that. But nothing attached, the skin hasn't been toughened or anything like that?
No, it's quite soft.
Thank you, thank you. Would you come and check the other one? I think you'll find this one even softer.
That's
Real feet?
beautiful.
Thank you. Let's do with that. Real feet. Happy?
Real feet,
Great.
yeah.
Could you come back round here for me? I'm going to ask you to take that drumstick just out of the bag there for me. I'll let you do that. Actually, first of all, I'm going to ask you to take my pulse. If you take the pulse with your right hand here, and then with your left hand to tap out the pulse that you feel on the end of the mic with the drumstick. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, fairly comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Does it seem a little fast or quite relaxed?
No,
or?
quite regular.
Quite regular, great, okay. So in order to do this and to put myself into the state that Prestoni would, I'm going to put a plastic bag over my head. Would you take the bag off for me, Ruth? So look, I'm not going to suffocate, thank you, because I'll be holding onto the bag, all right? So if I did pass out, air would come up into the bag and I'd be fine, all right? So if you were just as a nurse or as a physiotherapist, please resist the urge to pull the bag back off my head. As we do this, I want you to carry on taking my pulse, all right?
Yeah.
Now, the point is the pulse should change. It's really important that you accurately reflect on that, what you feel in my arm, all right? Can you feel anything? tap it out on the mic. Wait till you feel it kicking. Get ready. Yeah? Yeah? That's good. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Ruth. Let me take that from you. Ruth, everybody. Ruth and Stephen, thank you very much. Can I ask you to go back that way from me? Stephen, everybody. Thank you. Oh, your feet hurt, but you do kind of feel all buzzy. It's all kind of, for me, about you facing the fear of pain, if you like. Oh, excuse me. And the flip side of it is using pain. And this kind of goes back to when I was at school. Can I get a lady up here? Can we throw the monkey from wherever it is, from down up there, I think? And I'll just choose the nearest lady. You throw it down for me, nearest lady, wherever it lands. Just give it a good throw, any way you like. Great, thank you. Nearest lady. I think that's going to be you. Would you leave the monkey? Oh, no, you bring the monkey with you. Would you head up for me? Thank you so much. No. Excellent. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Hello. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you. Just come over here for me. Thank you. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. You're not a therapist, are you?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Lucky guess. Chris, show me your hands first of all. Okay. No. Perfect. Lovely. Chris, were you picked on a bit when you were a kid at school?
No.
No. Okay. I was. There was a kid called John, who wasn't very nice, and he used to tip all my bags up in the corridor, Chris, and then when I'd bend down and pick the stuff up, he'd give me a good kicking, and this used to go on regularly, and this was primary school, and I was quite young, and I didn't cry about it, Chris. What I did to distract myself from what was going on is I would count the things that fell out of my bag, you know, so if it was pencil shavings, literally, I'd count them, I'd add them up, or if a book fell open, I'd count the words on the page to distract me from what was going on, and it meant, as an adult, Chris, that I've kind of learned to associate the ability to make quite rapid calculations in my head with the experience of pain. Come with me. Over here for me. You're right-handed, aren't you? So if you hold that in your left hand for me, I'm going to ask you, with your right hand here, there's a bowl of buttons on the table. There's about 100 or something in there. You're going to reach in with your right hand, take handfuls of buttons, and place them on the tray in your left. Okay, please make sure they don't go on the table or the floor, because they fall off on this stage and I'll trip up and so on. Don't do it yet. You're going to wait till I'm looking the other way. Don't take them all, but I do want a lot of buttons on there. All right, I'd leave some there, but several handfuls. You do that for me now, Chris? I'm not looking. Just do mine where they go. Done? Can you cover the tray up for me? Is that it? You happy? Could you cover the tray up for me with those? Thank you. And can you cover up the bowl with this black cloth, please, just so I can't see how many are left. But do keep hold of the tray, and if you can bring the tray and come and stand behind me here, and hold it as you were, so with your left hand by the side of the tray, but underneath the cloth. But underneath the cloth. That's great, perfect. In a moment, I'll ask you to pull the cloth off, so you'll need to... It's fiddly, isn't it? Okay, thank you. Good. All right, now slap me. But really hard, really hard. Go on. It's not hard. Go on, really hard. Go on, really hard. Go on. Oh! Cloth off! Take the cloth off, quick! Quick! Off! Take the cloth, oh, I've lost it. 63. I'm going to say 63. On the table. Put the tray on the table for me. 63 buttons. Take a seat. Okay. You're going to move them all down this end for me, and you're going to count them two at a time towards you. Do take your time with this so you can do it accurately. 2, thank you, 4, out loud. 6, 8,
10,
12, take your time. 14, 16, 18. Hang on, pause a second. I'm going to say, sorry, I wore off. I'm going to add a few. I'm going to say 66. 66. All right, forgive me. Was that 18?
18.
So 20. Okay. 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Count with me, please. 34, 36, 38, 40. Okay, go on. 42,
42,
44, 46, 48, 50. Okay, pause for a second. The number is 66. Give me one either way, but I'm going to go with 66. Go. 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. Now one at a time for me, please. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Spot on. 66 buttons. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Actually, Chris, come back. Chris, come back, Chris. Come back. So I want to try that again, because I felt I didn't get the number straight out. Let me try that again. You do exactly the same thing. You were great. I'm going to try it a little bit differently. It'll make it more difficult, but let me try this a different way. So several handfuls. Off you go. Just like before, thank you. Done? Yep. Okay, cover it up for me, same thing. Thank you. And then cover the bowl up as well. Come and stand back here again. Excellent, all right. Okay. Same thing, except this time what I want to do is I want to count them while they're moving, all right? So what you need to do is you need to start the tray moving, ideally before you even pull the cloth off, because I will start the fraction of a second I see the buttons. So please make sure they're moving around. Jiggle the tray around. Are you ready? Slap me again. Go on.
That's what I don't like.
No, I know. Go on. One more. Up a bit. Off! Take the cloth off. Cloth off. Keep them moving. Take the cloth off. Take the cloth off. Keep them moving. Keep them moving, sir. 76. It might be 77. I'll say 76. On the table. On the table. I'll say 76. Move them all up this end. Same thing, please. Two at a time. Just to start them right up this end for me, Chris. Otherwise, it'll be more difficult to tell. Okay, 2, 4, 6,
8,
10. Yeah.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22,
Yep.
24,
26,
28,
28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. Just pause for a second and just move those right down there. 76, 77, I'll say 76. I'll go 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70. One at a time. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. With them moving! With them moving! Chris, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. That was a punch. That was a fucking punch, that last one. She's so done that before. Okay. Going to show you something now, and it's the end of the show. But it's kind of, for me, it's the most interesting thing, because you will do this yourself now. You will do this. I don't do this. You do it. And you can't not get it right. You have to do this right. Because if you've watched and listened over the last couple of hours, hour and a half, you will get this. I'll show you. It's this. It's this. It's this. It's an envelope. I'm going to put it here. It's a prediction, if you like, a prediction of the future, of decisions that you're going to make, which will lead to what's in that envelope. And you have to. You can't not make those decisions. You can't not make decisions that will lead to what's in there. It's inevitable. What's in there is inevitable. Ish. Okay. I'm going to throw these out. These are heavier than you think, so if one comes at you, please catch it, all right? Don't sit there going, no, I won't, because it will just, they are heavy. These are today's papers. Today's papers, you grab them for me there. Thank you. It's the Times. Let's go over there. Somebody catch for me. Sorry. Daily Mail over there. Thank you very much. Okay. Daily Mail. Oh, we've had the Daily Mail. I'm sorry. Independent. Let's get one up there. Catch for me. Thank you. Got another Independent. There are a couple of duplicates. So somebody catch this up there. Ready? Oh, heavy, heavy. You all right? You okay? Count the buttons. Have a go. Just go and get it. Whose phone's that? Whose phone was that? Don't answer it. It's really bad news. The Sun. Great, thank you. Let's get another one up there. This is the Mirror, Daily Mirror. Somebody catch? Will you throw that one back again for me so somebody else gets it? Try and get that one round towards the middle there, all right? Telegraph, over there, downstairs. Somebody catch for me, please. And can we move that one that way a little bit? Just trying to spread them all out. And the Guardian, you have the one over there if you like. And the Evening Standard. All right, spread this one out. I'll move it. It won't go as far. Will you throw it over that way, please, so they all spread out? That is 10 of today's papers. Now we need Danny. Danny with the case. Do you want your necklace back, Danny? Where are you? Where are you, Danny? Bring the case up. Head up here quick as you can. Keep it going for Danny. Come on, Danny, run. Let's keep it going for Danny. Danny, thank you so much. Please check your necklace is okay. What paper do you read, by the way? What do you read? What? Okay, let me just get rid of that. Sorry, let me chuck that down there. Any of you, sorry, is that all right? Do you want to put it in your pocket for now? Rather than put, yeah, great. Come and stand over here for me. Okay, if any of you have got the papers that match the papers you read at home or anything, just please take them home with you so you can check at the end, that they are real papers, which they are. It'll give you a chance to check that. Okay, so you tried lots of different numbers on here? Yeah, any luck at all?
No.
No. Did you try your birthday?
No.
No, sometimes people do. Okay, but you've tried lots of different numbers and, okay, all right, good. Good. Okay, so we need to get this open. So, could you, if you've got a paper in your hand, I'd like you just to hold it up in the air for me and just wave it in the air. Leave the band on it, but move it around, please. Keep it waving. Will you please choose someone who's got their hand up?
Over there in the green.
Lady in the green, do you stand up for me for a second? Thank you so much. Ready, we can put your papers down. Okay, your name, please?
Kirsty.
Kirsty, thank you. And the paper you've got is?
The Daily Mail.
The Daily Mail. Thank you so much. Are you happy to do this with Kirsty?
Yep.
Yep, happy to do it with the Daily Mail?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, and if you are, because all these things we can change as you go along, all right? You need to know these are your decisions that you can change. Great. So, Kirsty, for now, I'll ask you to sit back down. And the rest of you, take your papers, please, home with you. Kirsty will come back to you in a second. All right, so look, if I asked you, turn and face me. If I asked you what the combination was in that lock, you'd have to say you didn't know.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that you could know, all right? But part of that is you thinking it's impossible. Because it sounds impossible, but, you know, there's only 3 numbers you've got to get. You know which number's between 0 and 39, because you'll have worked that out.
Yeah.
So if I told you that you did know what the numbers were,
Yeah.
all right, and instead of you going, oh, I don't know what they are, just to think, yes, I do know what they are. Like you're playing a game where you're pretending to be psychic and thinking, yes, I know what the numbers are. Does that make sense? So you think it's easy. It's an easy thing to know. So if I told you you knew the first number in the combination, what is that? What's the first number? Say it.
1.
You think it's 1. Then turn it to 1. Turn it to 1. Excellent. Come back to me. All right. So you've had 1 as the first number in the combination. So now we've got the next number in the combination, all right? So again, just believing that you know it. Don't think, oh, you're just thinking, yes, I do know it, all right? So what's the next number in the combination that will open the padlock? What is it? Between 0 and 39. It's not going to be 1, 2, 3, all right? So what's the next number in the Look at me.
24.
24. Very good. Turn it to 24. Excellent. Very good. These numbers just popping into your head, yes? Yep. Okay, so we've had 1 and we've had 24. Now, what's the last number going to be, look at me, in the combination which opens the padlock? What's the last number?
15.
Say?
15.
15. No, but you're slightly questioning it. You want to change one of those 2 digits. You're going to change the 1 or the 5?
The 5.
The 5. Great. And what are you going to change it for?
3.
3. So the final number is?
13.
13. Turn it to 13 for me. And pull.
Down.
Nicely done, Danny. Nicely done. Well done. Take the chain off for me, Danny. Take the chain off. Just on the floor. Right, put the case down on the table. And I want you to just press in the little white buttons there, and then you better lift the top half up. Do that for me. Great. Yeah, you can just lift. That's great. What's inside? What is that?
I hope it's not a mouse.
No, what is it?
It's bots.
Another case. Take it out for me. There are 14 of these. Bear with us. Take it out for me. Take it out. Okay, now look, the important thing is inside this, all right? Because I did this because I thought you might sneak a look in the side of that or crowbar it open. So the important thing's inside the case, inside the case. We will come back to that in a little bit. All right, you chose a paper which was the Daily Mail, okay? And you didn't want to change your mind, so we're going, it was Kirsty, isn't it? So Kirsty, we need to choose a page from the Mail. You are a little bit far away, so can I just grab a paper from the front there? Is that one of mine or one of the... Is that one of mine? This is today's paper. Can you just verify into the mic there, please, that is today's date, yes?
Yeah.
Well, if any of you get the Times, you'll recognise it. Britain vows to imprison the tyrants of Africa. You'll recognise that if you get the Times. Now, these headlines are written to influence us. The way we think about the article, the way we read the issue, even the way we vote sometimes, all right? And similarly with advertising slogans, not like that. It affects the way we think about the product, the way we spend our money. I'm going to read you a bunch of headlines or advertising slogans. Your job, Danny, is to stop me any way you like while I'm reading one out. Whatever page we're on, that is the page we'll go with. But not in this, we'll go with it in the Mail over there with Kirsty. All right, does that make sense? So when you do say stop, you need to say stop really clearly into the mic. Okay? And don't say it before I read something out. You can either say it while I'm reading one or just afterwards. Does that make sense? Okay. Trying to avoid anything Miracle patient gets in the saddle. Gypsy moth rescued from South Sea reef. Sweetener is not a cancer risk.
Stop.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sure? Want me to carry on? And Karen, if you like. You happy with that page?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There we are. Sweetener is not a cancer risk. Into the mic, please. The page is page...
14.
Page 14. You happy with 14?
Yeah.
Only if you are. Then 14 we'll go with. So, Kirsty, if you stand up for me, you want to pull out page 14 from the Daily Mail. So if you drop everything else, so you're just holding on to the corner of page 14, just literally drop everything else on the floor. You'll probably find it comes out with another page attached to it. That's fine. Great, it does. Do me a favour, tear it down the middle for me, just so you've got 2 separate pages. Doesn't have to be perfect, but if you can sort of try and get that relatively clean. Excellent, then just hold out a page in each hand for me, Kirsty. Great, great, lovely, thank you. All right, so look, we only need one or the other, so you're going to either hand one down to the lady on that side or one down to the lady on that side. If you can do that for me. Yeah, whichever one, thank you so much. If that lady could stand, you can sit down for me now, Kirsty. So what page have you got there? The one with 14 on it or whatever was attached to it? It should probably be 70-something.
13.
You've got 13 and 14, you've got that side. Okay, great. Will you have a look? What's your name, by the way?
Melissa.
Melissa, will you have a look at both sides for me, Melissa? And you don't need to memorise anything, but just have a look at both sides and get it around the way you'd like to have it and let me know when you've done that. Yep. And what page is that? What can I see? Hold it up for me like this, I can't. What page am I looking at there?
14.
14. Actually, was the number you said. We've sort of come back to it. But we could have gone either way with either page, and that's fine. Okay, 14 it is then. Melissa, you need to start tearing that up. So if you can turn it landscape for me, tear it down the middle, put the two halves together, tear them again, put them together, tear them again. So we get a nice pile of papers. Very important, don't drop any. And also, please try not to screw them up, all right? So a nice neat pile. As you do this... Oh. It's the nail that starts to hurt about now. As you do this, can you come into the aisle as you do it, please? So keep tearing for me a nice, neat pile of papers, please. Try not to drop any as you do it. Actually, you come right to the front. Keep tearing for me. Keep tearing until you feel you can't tear them anymore, all right? If you can come just down here for me, Melissa, that'll be great. Imagine one more. When you've done it, just hold out half in each hand. That's probably going to be as much. Great, turn to face me. That'll be great. Turn to face me. So look, now what you're going to do, this is the only point. I'm not going to let you change a decision that's made, all right? I'm going to go with Melissa's decision, and I will go with your first decision, all right? When I click my fingers, just as we did back there, you're going to hand to me the half you'd like me to carry on with and the half you'd like me to use. The other half you can drop on the floor or whatever you like, okay? So when I click my fingers, the half that feels right to you, I'd like you to extend to me, and those will be the ones I use. Ready? Here we go. Sure? Okay, so I'm going to take these without dropping any myself. So let me take them like that. Perfect, wonderfully done. Round of applause for Melissa, I think. Thank you very much indeed, Melissa. All right, do you want to take the microphone for me and head over to the table with me, please? Head over the table for me. I'm going to put those there. Can you take a seat for me? Sorry, head over the table and just take a seat there for me. All right. Okay. Now look, we probably, I don't know how many we've got there exactly. If you give me a number between 1 and 10, I'll count off that number of pieces, all right? And again, you can change your mind. As with everything that you choose, you can change, all right? So don't feel committed to it. But into the mic, please, a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to count off that number of pieces that you tell me.
7.
7. Are you happy with the idea of me counting off 7 pieces, or do you want to change the number?
No,
I'll stay.
Are
7.
you sure?
Yep.
Okay, then I will count off 7 pieces. Now, if I do anything other than count off 7 pieces, if I start taking extra pieces or swapping it, anything like that, you must say so into the mic, because you guys can see fairly clearly, but you have the clearest view here, right? You are the eyes of the audience and everybody watching this, all right? And everybody watching this on TV as well. Okay, here we go. I will count off 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, you can see these are all different as I do it. 6, 7. That is the 7th piece I'm removing. All right. Will you do me a favour? Will you please take the next piece for yourself? Okay. I won't even touch it. All right. So I won't, no, take it for yourself. I'm not going to touch it. All right. Okay. Now, you need to have a look at that. You need to choose a word on there. All right. So I'll take the mic from you. Have a look through it. Choose a word. What I want is a nice, long, interesting word on there. All right. Otherwise, all this will have been a bit pointless. Have a good read through it. And then give me a nice, long or interesting word on there that you'd like to go with. One that you can read on there. What are you going to go with? Actually, if you come say this into the mic, basically, if we end up with a word like the or under or whatever, at this point, it will seem a little bit of an anticlimax. So what was that again?
Influential.
Influential. Let's have a look. Okay, that's a very good word. Thank you. Okay, all right. Now look, for the record, not the only long word on there. We've got overwhelmingly, establishment. There's quite a few, educational, but you're happy with influential, yes? Mm-hmm. Okay, if you are, then I am. We'll go with that. That's one word chosen from about 40 on there, but we can certainly see it as one word chosen from about, 2,000 words. It'll be on page 14 of the Daily Mail. It'll have about 2,000 words on it. There'll be about 80 pages in the Daily Mail, so that's 160,000 words just in the Daily Mail, yes? But there were 10 papers that you could have chosen from that were around the room, so that's 1.6 million different words that you had to choose from in this room, and you just, without me exaggerating, and you choose the word influential. Is that fair?
Yeah.
No. No. No, it's not. It is not fair. It's not. It's inevitable. It is not fair. It's inevitable that you chose the Daily Mail right there with Kirsty and didn't want to change your mind. Inevitable you said page 14 and didn't want to change your mind. I was so fair about that. Inevitable, Melissa, that you handed me that half with that word in it. and inevitable that you said to count off 7 pieces and not 3 or just 1 or all 10 or whatever, and that you end up, out of all the long words on there, it was not the only long word on there, correct?
That's true.
Correct? That you chose the word influential. Let me show you why it's inevitable. Open it up. Open it. Good. Okay, you need to hold there for me. Sorry, hold there for me. And one more time into the mic, really loud. The word was?
Influential.
Influential. There it is, influential. Danny, ladies and gentlemen, well done, Danny. Danny, thank you so very much indeed. Danny, everybody. Actually, wait. Sorry, just a second. You're all intelligent people. If you think that worked, you're going to think about this in the bar. You're going to be having a drink afterwards or driving home or up at 4 in the morning trying to work out how that worked. And you're going to think to yourself, and I'm only saying this because I know I would think this if I was watching it myself, all right? You're going to think, okay, we know you were a fair choice of person because you chose the monkey at the beginning. You caught that and we all took a vote. We were happy with you. And you could have changed your mind with the paper. You could have changed your mind with the page, even down to the word at the end. I was fair about that. So I think, well, maybe it didn't make any difference what she chose. If that was it. Maybe all that happened was Magic Boy here switches a bit of paper at the end, hopes she goes for that word or something, and, actually you took the paper yourself. It doesn't really make any sense, but it's easy to think. It's a comfortable thing to think that's what happened. But here's the point. Here's the thing. If that is what happened, and it didn't make any difference what paper you chose or what page and all that was rubbish, then that word influential, it wouldn't really be on page 14 of today's Daily Mail. And it is. It is. And if you get the Daily Mail, when you go home, check it. It's in the comment article on the left-hand side of the page. Influential, near the beginning. And if you don't get the Daily Mail, you fucking buy a copy on your way home, check it when you get in. And if you still don't believe me, this is when we open the case within the case that you've had all the way through the show, and the case that was up here on stage with something in it from before we even threw the monkey out, all right? Open it up. What is that?
It's the Daily Mail.
The Daily Mail, take it out for me. Is that the whole of the Daily Mail?
No,
it's just one page inside. What is the page?
It's page 14.
Page 14, take it out for me. And yes or no, is there a word circled in a big red marker halfway down that?
Yeah, it's influential.
Influential, there it is, right there. Page 14, Daily Mail. Page 14, today's Daily Mail, right there. Check it yourselves. Can we get a camera on this? Can you read it? Can you read it, Danny? Thank you so much. I'll let you head back. Danny, everybody. Thank you, Danny. Thank you all. Thanks for coming out tonight. Thank you for plugging this place out. Good night. Actually, wait. Can we stop? Hang on. Sorry, can you just sit down again for a second for me? Sorry. You're all intelligent people. If you think that worked just because Danny and Melissa and Kirsty are somehow kind of easy to manipulate, you'd be right, in fact. But only because you all are, that's the point, because you all are. Because that had to work on all of you. Any of you could have caught the papers, any of you could have caught the monkey. It had to work on all of you. Let me explain. The whole of the show, you see, for me, has been kind of about hidden messages. They're the messages in the foyer that made Danny choose a mouse. At the beginning, she had to because of the messages that most of you think of an elephant. And the messages that I've been giving you over the last 2 hours to make you make those decisions. The Daily Mail, page 14, the word influential. You had to, any of you would have done. Let me tell you what I've been doing. We've been filming little bits from the wings, just little clips of the show. And there's a guy called Coops backstage who edits them together and makes a little film, a short film of the show. Let me show you the film from tonight's show. So look, you remember how it started because Danny chose a mouse, she came up, read the thing out, it was a mouse, that was correct, and then she read out, I gave her the briefcase. Now the thing with this, with all of these things, you will remember that I said, or you'll remember, because at the time they trip you up, they make, what did he say? And then you start to forget about them. But if I don't play this to you, you forget to remember, you forget to remember. I'll play this to you, you will remember to remember. Listen, this is what I said with the briefcase, listen. Very simple, you get a number in your head, you turn it to that number, all right? So you get a 14 in your head, you turn it to 14. Get a 14 in your head. Listen again, listen to that again. You get a 14 in your head, you get a 14 in your head. You get a 14 in your head. Danny gets a 14 in her head right from the start. Danny can see peripherally the page numbers of the Times as I'm going through. She doesn't know that she's doing it, but she does, and she stops me on page 14 because it feels right. And I know I can say to her twice, in fact, do you want to change? Do you want to change the page? Do you want to change? She won't, because it feels right, so she won't change. And then we did the line game, and before the line game I said that you should all think of the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young. Yes? But it's not quite what I said, not the first time. And you'll remember because it would have tripped you up. But you'll remember now when I play this. Listen to what I said. You can all think of, male, the surname of the first person you had a crush on when you were young. Listen to that bit again, just listen to that bit again. Think of, male, think of, male. Think of Mail, the Daily Mail, all right? And that was the one, when I was throwing the papers out, and as I came off the stage, I said, Daily Mail, oh no, we've had the Daily Mail, I mentioned it. And you went straight for that one, Daddy, because it sticks in your head. And all of you would have done the same thing, straight for that one, the one that I mentioned, the Daily Mail. And then, after the line game, I spoke about there being brochures outside for psychic courses you could go. It's rubbish, there aren't any courses, there aren't any brochures, don't look for them, they don't exist. But it allowed me to say this, listen. There are some fantastically expensive courses you can go on to learn psychic powers. And if you choose page £1,400 a week to learn rubbish, then that's up to you. Choose page 14. Choose page 14. Choose page 14. Yes, it's inevitable. And we know it's inevitable because Melissa and Kirsty did the same thing. They did this Kirsty pass across the 13-14 page. Melissa decides to go with the 14 side, not the 13 on the other side. Inevitable. See, proof. And then, during the line game, I had the first guy come forward, I think Tony was his name, and I spoke about how people give themselves away when they're lying, and I sort of tried to put him on the spot, and you kind of laugh because it's like a little joke, and you laugh at it, but you forget, then you miss what I said just beforehand with this guy, which actually was quite blatant. But listen again. Because of the sorts of unconscious behaviours that we unconsciously choose daily, male subjects tend to give themselves a little bit more away than females. Choose daily, male. Choose daily, male. Choose daily mail, choose daily mail. You would have done, any of you would have done. She didn't want to change her mind. She didn't want to change her mind. I was so fair about it. And then you go for a drink. You go for a drink, you come back after the drink, I hammer a nail into my nose, and I came to the front of the stage. I don't know what you thought I said at this point, it was just rubbish coming out of my face. But listen to it now, listen to what I said. Do you hammer daily a number 14 male into your head? Hammer daily a number 14 male into your head. Hammer daily a number 14 male into your head. Hammer, you get a hammer? Yeah, hammer, daily number 14 male into your head, yes? And then, let me unroll the tarpaulin. I came to the front of the stage and spoke about pain being subjective. And oh God, here's the thing. You all knew the word. You knew it was going to be influential all the way through the second half of the show. You knew it was going to be, but you didn't know that you knew. Because Melissa had to know, because when Melissa was tearing up the paper, you had to tear around that word. You had to keep track of it and tear around it without knowing that's what you were doing and then know which half to give me. She tore around it. Listen to what I said. Listen. Pain is very subjective. It's a subjective thing. Like when you're young, when you tear around influential and you cut yourself. You don't realise that you're cut until you look down and you see the blood and then suddenly it starts to hurt. Tear around influential. Tear around influential. Tear around influential, exactly what you do. You put all that together over the last 2 hours. You put all that together, this is what you've been hearing without realising you've been hearing it. You get a 14 in your head. Think of male. Choose page 14. Choose daily. Male. Hammer daily a number 14 male into your head. Tear around influential. Tear around influential. Influential. That's why it was the Daily Mail. That's why it was page 14, not 13 on the other side. And that's why it was the word influential. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming out tonight. And thank you for playing. Good night. Tonight, a small, specially invited audience will be joining me in a secret location in London for a one-off special live performance.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Everyone's in blacked-out coaches, so they can't see where they are. And at the moment, one of those blacked-out coaches is arriving that bears our celebrity quota for the evening.
Where the fuck are we?
The other coaches, which are slightly grubbier and don't have power steering, contain the ordinary people, the non-celebrities. And I've invited people who I know are interested in my works, so there are psychologists, hypnotists, salesmen, 1 or 2 psychics, some magicians, even some cabbies. And I've also invited some students as well, as I do tend to do this around universities sometimes, and students tend to respond quite well, so I've invited some of those along too. Enjoy it. Okay, it's time to start. None of them know where they are. Let's bring down the house lights. Good evening. Very nice to see you all. Thank you for coming. Obviously, a show like this is going to involve a certain amount of audience participation, so I thought I'd get rid of that whole awful embarrassment factor. Now, Jean-Christophe Novelli, you're sat a couple of rows back, couple in from the aisle. Would you stand up for me, sir?
You have to stand up.
Oh, no. Stand up for me, Jean-Christophe, please. Stand up. Jean-Christophe, thank you. Please listen carefully. If you look over to the left-hand side of the stage for me, you'll see a tall table, and on top of the table is a stuffed kitten. Can you see that, Jean-Christophe?
Yes, I do, yes.
Excellent. What I would like you to do for me is to go and get the kitten.
Oh, no.
Hang on.
No. It's my night off.
Listen carefully. I'd like you to go and get the kitten off the table. I don't want to embarrass you in front of 200 people, of course. So I'd like you to try and get the kitten without anybody seeing you. Go on, off you go.
Please, I don't know. It's my night off.
Right, I think I can see you. Take the kitten back to your seat for me, Jean-Christophe. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. All right, listen carefully. In a moment, I want you to throw the kitten backwards, over your shoulder, into the audience. Not yet. This will then select a random volunteer. Of course, this means everybody behind Jean-Christophe will now pretend they don't exist. If the kitten comes at you, you just catch it. Jean-Christophe, throw it backwards now into the audience. Go, over your head. Throw it for me. Whoever that's nearest, pick that up for me. Jean-Christophe, you can now sit down. Thank you very much indeed. Whoever's got the kitten, will you please stand? Excellent. What's your name, madam?
Jeannie.
Jeannie, very good to meet you, Jeannie. Jeannie, first of all, we have never met before, ever. I have prepared nothing with you, correct?
I don't know who you are.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming. Jeannie, if I was to ask you to name any country in the world, all right, now don't name maybe France or England or even America, maybe they might seem a little bit obvious. And bearing in mind, you can change your mind as many times as you like. What would you say?
Africa.
Africa. Excellent. Well, that's kind of what I hoped. It tells me that you are clearly sharp enough to try and keep me on my toes, yet you're not going to try too hard to catch me out, and that you have massive emotional damage. Jeannie.
How right you are.
Jeannie, it would be a little bit ambitious of me at this point to try and control your choice of any country in the world, but I think I can control your choice of one of three shapes. If you look in the center of the stage, you'll see a board with three shapes mounted on them. Can you see that?
Yes.
Excellent. In a moment, Jeannie, I will ask you to name one of those three shapes. I think I know in advance which one of those shapes you're going to choose. So I will give you 3 seconds of silence, and during that time, I want you to make up your mind and choose one of the shapes. Whatever you say, Jeannie, I will take as your absolute final decision, and I will not let you change your mind. Is that clear?
Okay. Yes.
All right. And you'll notice, by the way, I haven't tried to attract your attention to one shape more than the others. I'm sure you'll agree everything is fair and square. Here are your 3 seconds. Your 3 seconds of silence starts now. 1, 2, 3. I will not let you change your mind. Is that clear? Which shape would you like?
Triangle.
The triangle. Right, would you like to change your mind?
No.
A free choice. Yes?
Yes.
All right, here's what I want you to do. Leave the kitten with the person next to you. I'd like you to walk down onto the stage and stand next to the microphone. That's just next to the board with the shapes on it. Give Jeannie a big hand as she heads up on stage. Thank you. The mic is just to the right of the shapes. If you can just stand so you're facing the audience, lovely. Now, Jeannie, just behind that board with the shapes on, there's a card table. Will you just pick the brick up off the card table, please? Thank you very much. Pick it up, and then with your other hand, I need you to pick up the black envelope that's just there. Pick up the black envelope that's just on the card table. Thank you, and then put the brick back. Thank you. All right. So, take the envelope that was under the brick, take it to the microphone. I'd like you to undo it for me and take out what's inside. A folded sheet of paper. Good. If you can undo the folded sheet of paper for me. And Jeannie, I would like you, please, in your nicest, clearest voice, to read out what it says right from the top of the page. Nice and clearly, please. Off you go.
Okay, Derren. But before I start, may I just say how much I've enjoyed the recent series?
Oh, Jeannie, that is so sweet of you. Thank you so much. That's lovely. You can read a little quicker if you like.
If my abilities are well honed tonight, you will be a tall, well-dressed and sexually attractive lady.
I do apologise.
Upon being asked to choose a shape, there is only one shape you can choose. That shape will, of course, be the triangle. However, what will really bug you is how I also knew that you would choose the country Africa.
Africa it was. Jeannie, back to your seat. Keep it going for Jeannie. Head back to your seat, Jeannie. Thank you enormously. Thank you very much indeed. That is excessively kind of all of you. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you for bearing with our arrangements this evening. Just do be careful when gasping tonight. We do have some quite bad asbestos problems in this room we can't do very much about. Everything I do before you tonight, I do unaided. I've purposely chosen quite a big open spaces so you know there's not anybody hiding, holding up things or giving me any information. Equally, I'm not wearing any earpieces or anything like that. I'm going to get you to check, please. No earpiece. Check that for me. Nothing there? Happy?
Nothing.
Sure? Nothing there?
No.
Do you check?
Nothing at all.
Sure? Okay, great. Thank you. I stand before you naked, apart from this rather nice suit and 2 pairs of pants. So, with that gently arousing image in our minds, let's choose one of you at random, see how it goes from there. So let's throw the kitten again. Where is it at the moment? Should be somewhere around Jeannie. Give it a good throw anywhere you like, Jeannie. Excellent. I think that's you. Would you stand up for me? What's your name, please?
Henrietta.
Henrietta. Henrietta, why don't you leave the kitten where it is and head up for me? Henrietta, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Very nice to meet you. Come over here for me. I'm just going to bring the mic forward for you and ask you to stand right there, Henrietta. Thank you so much for coming up. I'm going to suggest a little game you might like to play. If you take out what's in there, check there's nothing else in there. Would you take it out as well? Empty? Yep. And just say into the mic what that is nice and clearly for me.
Oh, it's a lovely cheque for £1,000.
A cheque for £1,000, ladies and gentlemen. A cheque for £1,000. It's exciting already, isn't it? Could you also take out what's in the other one here? And again, as you take that out, please check there's nothing else in there. Empty?
Yep.
Yes? That is a picture of a
parrot.
A parrot? Absolutely right. This is not any parrot. This is my parrot. This is Figaro the parrot. He is delightful. This picture will serve as a consolation prize for you, should you not win the money.
Okay.
Let me ask you just to face that way for me. I don't want you seeing now which is which, all right? And while you look the other way, can you close your eyes for me as well? I'm very aware that there are some big shadows up there on the wall. Please close your eyes while I mix these up. And you'll keep track of which is which, yes? All right. While your back's turned, please no looking, keep your eyes closed. I will show you all the envelope that I will make Jeannie pick. Just so you're all that one step ahead. Okay? This one here. This one. Jeannie, you can turn back round now for me. Jeannie, you can turn around now. I'm so sorry, it's not Jeannie, is it?
No.
Henrietta. You can turn, yes, thank you, turn around. Henrietta, Harry. Gonna put this over here.
Okay.
And this one over here. You'll love this game. All you've got to do is... Actually, I got confused then. Let me just check. Good. All you've got to do is choose an envelope. If you choose the one with the check in it, I will make that out to you. I'll write it out, sign it. You can have it. No embarrassment. The money's yours. All right? My task is to somehow try and influence you to choose the envelope that does not contain the check. Mm-hmm. So for £1,000, do you want to go for that one, or do you want to go for that one which you're sort of slightly looking in that direction anyway? It does make it a little bit easier to point at.
That one.
You want to go for that one? A wise decision. A superb choice. Thank you very much indeed. You're under a lot of pressure. There's cameras and lights and so on, so I will give you the rest of the show to change your mind if you like.
Okay.
Just so you don't feel manipulated or pressurised in any way, okay? That's for you for later. Please don't open it yet. For now, Henrietta, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll ask you to go and sit back down. Henrietta, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Excellent, thank you, Henrietta. Let's get a guy and a girl up here, so let's throw the kitten again over your shoulder any way you like. There's our random person. Oh, straight. Reese. Yes. Reese just missed. Stand up for me, thank you. Would you throw that again for me? Get a lady up here too. Great, stand up for me there. What's your name?
Debbie.
Debbie and Reese, would you both come up? Let's give them both a big hand. Down you come. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, I'm going to put you over here, if that's all right. Just stand right there for me. Turn and face me. Thank you so much. Reese, Debbie, hello. Would you go and stand by the mic for me? I'm just going to talk to Debbie for a second. Please stand there. Don't run off or touch anything. Good. Debbie, face the front for me. I'd like you, please, you're going to think of the surname or the name of someone that you knew when you were young.
Okay.
All right, I will tell you this person's name. All right? Now, again, as for all of you, I have prearranged nothing with you. I haven't met any of you before, correct? Have you got somebody in your mind?
Yep.
I will tell you this person's name. It is the surname I'm going to go for. Christian names are a little easy to stumble across sometimes. So it's the surname I'm after. If you know it's like Smith or Brown or something like that, please do change it for something not so immediately common. Equally, if it's a very long name, more than 6 or 7 letters, again, change it. Are you happy with what you've got? Mm-hmm. OK, great. So you just say the surname to yourself over and over again, please. Just keep repeating that in your mind. Nothing out loud. Don't move your lips. Just keep saying it to yourself. Thank you. All right. Reese, I'm going to... is there a double meaning in it, the surname?
No.
Like a word within the word?
Oh, yeah.
Just focus on the image a little clearer, make it as bright and vivid. Genuinely, please do this for me as you can. If you imagine the name itself is written in the air, we'll get you to write this down. This will help lock it in your mind. It also means if we need to, we can prove what you were writing off, so people don't think you're just going to say yes to help me out, but obviously don't let me see this, so it does take the challenge out of it somewhat. So just the surname, please. Large, clear, block capital letters. Great. Done that?
Yeah.
Great. If you can fold up the bit of paper for me again, Debbie. All folded up?
Yeah.
Great. OK, can I take the pen back off you? Just the pen, not the bit of paper, thank you. Just for the record, though, if you just hold the bit of paper, I won't look, but you cannot see through the paper. Cannot read any writing or see any letters through the paper, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, great, thank you very much. You can hang on to that, just put that in your pocket or hang on to it for me, that's great. All right, face the front for me. Stay right there, just keep thinking of the name. I'm going to ask you, Reese, you're going to draw something for me.
Right.
All right, put your hands by your sides for a second. Now, if ever you see a psychic attempt this, not this, obviously there's nothing psychic about that, that's just fingers. My fingers are bending. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Bend. No, please. They are relying, please. They are relying on you drawing something familiar or predictable.
Right.
So, Reese, your task here is to, try and catch me out a little bit. Draw something you don't think I could just guess.
Right.
All right. So please, don't draw a house. Don't draw a stick man. All right.
Okay.
Please don't draw a penis.
Right.
It's not that look in his eyes, but something that you can draw clearly and vividly. Don't go overboard on detail. Try and keep it relatively simple.
Right.
Got something?
Absolutely.
All right, great. I'm going to give you a pen and paper to do that for me. When you've drawn it, you draw it nice and big and clear. You hold it up against yourself like this so nobody can see. But you stare at the easel and you imagine that that picture that you've drawn is on there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right, so do that for me now, nice and large and clear. Don't let anybody see. When you're done, hold it up against yourself. Okay. All right, facing the front for me. 2 rules. The first rule is this, Debbie. You need to look at something that you can focus on comfortably. The lights might be a bit bright up there, but just pick something that you can focus on and just look at for me. All right, second rule is this. Let me just get that hair there. All right, second rule is this. You just think of the name. You just say the name to yourself over and over again. Or if I ask you to think of a letter in the name, you just think of that letter over and over again. All right, it means if you get nervous or flustered, you can just bring your mind back to that letter or back to the words. So let's start with a letter somewhere in the middle. If you can just think of a letter somewhere in the middle of this name for me. Have you got one? Okay, so just looking out there. You don't even need to say yes for me. Just keep thinking of the name. Actually, I may not be able to do this with you. I may... frustratingly need to send you back. Was that an N? It was?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, maybe this will work then. Can you think of another one? Maybe at the end somewhere. Got one? Oh, you flick it. S.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, all right, I'm going to use you. Let's keep... Can I put your hair behind your ears? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just going to bring your hair around like this. Okay, Reese, keep hold of that. Make sure I don't see it. Just keep it up against yourself. I want you staring, please, at the card on the easel, imagining that picture's there. You're doing great, Reese. Thank you. All right. I'm going to try and make you say the name out loud. You must not say it. You say nothing at all. Don't even say a word until I tell you what I think it is, and then you can say yes or no or freak out or whatever. But until that point, you say nothing, all right? And whatever you do, do not say the name, okay? So what is it? What is it? Okay, plosive sound at the beginning. You can see it. Plosive sound at the beginning. So that could be like a B or a P or something. Careful. A B at the beginning, I think. Please be careful, don't give anything away. All right, so we've got a B at the beginning. Just keep saying it to yourself over and over again. Nothing, don't move them. Barnes, B-A-R-N-E-S, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Debbie. Thank you so much. Debbie, ladies and gentlemen, let's you go back. Well done, Debbie. Thank you so much. Well done, Debbie. Thank you very much indeed. All right, don't let me see the drawing. Put the whole thing in the envelope for me. The whole thing in the envelope. Just drop it in for me. Drop the whole thing in, please don't let me see it. If any of you see it, please don't say anything. I'd like you to head over to the mic for me. Thank you. All right. So, Reese, I lied to you. All right, I lied to you because I told you that by not drawing all of those things that we do tend to draw, like houses and stick men, that it makes it more difficult. It doesn't. It makes it easier. Because it means that instead of drawing all those kind of things, you end up sort of going into yourself a little bit and drawing something that reflects a side of you, or your emotional state, or your response to being here, or any of those things, personal things. So the question is, what can we tell about Reese just by looking at him? You're obviously going to be clearly very confident as a performer, of course you are, so what you've drawn will tend to reflect a kind of a friendly, relaxed thing rather than a kind of aggressive or pointy thing. It's immediately the first thing I'd say. I think also whatever it is, you'll decorate it, you'll do something to it that will make it that little bit more, because this is what you're like. You're that little bit, it'll be something that, okay, I've got to face the front, I've got an idea. Friendly and soft. Just keep facing the front. Don't look. Keep facing out the front for me. I'm going to go for this. Please don't look. No looking. Don't look, Reese. But there'll be something else to it, and I think it'll be probably that. All right. Do not look, Reese, but I'd like you to... Oh, you know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. Don't look. Oh, God. It's going to be something, either that or... it's the little details. I'm not sure. There'll be some little detail. All right, Reese, into the microphone, nice and clearly. What did you draw?
Cat.
A cat?
Yes.
Wait, hang on. Any details?
Stripy cat.
Stripy cat. Oh, it was the... Show me. Show me what you got. Show me. Oh, I'm going to give myself that. It was the first one. Reese, look, I'll show you. I got rid of it, but I did do that one first. Thank you very much indeed, Reese. I'll let you get back. Reese Smith, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Okay. All right, Henrietta, where are you? Stand up for me. Henrietta, so it was this one there that you chose, yes?
That one.
That one over there. I'm so sorry, my mistake. Let me mark them so there's no confusing which is which. Put a little sticker on this so we all know this is the one that Henrietta would like. Okay? Although you may now think, Henrietta, of course, that I'm trying to attract your attention over this side by putting a sticker here and no sticker on the other side. So I'll put a little sticker on the other side, a different sticker, just so you all know this is the one that Henrietta does not want. Of course, the idea, Henrietta, is to ignore me completely, all right? Don't get stressed, don't get cross, and just go for whatever feels right. Would you like to change your mind? No. No?
No.
Fair enough. Sit down then for me, come back to you later. Let's get a face up here that we would know. Krishnan, could I ask you to stand up for a second? Thank you very much. And let's... yeah, actually, I think you'd be absolutely perfect. Would you head up here for me? Krishnan, ladies and gentlemen, up you come. Just head around here for me. So, just to come and stand right there for me, right there. Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, just turn and face me. Thank you very much. Krishnan, look at me just for a second and just relax there and just sleep down there for a second. As you do this, you just need to focus on me for a second. I'm not really going to hypnotize you. All I'm going to do is just placing you into a state where you can really focus and concentrate on what I'm doing. So as you do this, and just listen to my voice right there in the center of your head and take a moment just to carry on sinking and drifting and just floating down so you can really understand what I'm telling you, so these words really make sense to you. Here's what you're going to do. I want you to think of a phone number that you know. Don't say anything out loud, but please, Krishnan, obviously don't go for your own phone number or one of anyone that's very close to you, anything that you think I could know or have found out. So take a moment to just go through different numbers in your mind and then just find one and settle on one. Okay, I'm going to do this slightly differently with you, I think. I think I'd like you just to pick 2 digits from that phone number. They don't need to be next to each other, just get them in your head, good. And just lock those in your head for me, good, I can see you've done that. Lovely. Focus on those two for me. And what I want you to do now, Krishnan, irrespective of what you've believed up to this point, you can absolutely believe for me now that you can take those thoughts, those numbers, and send them from your mind into somebody else's. And I know then that you will enter into this with concentration and imagination, and that is all that I ask you to do. So here's what I'd like you to do now. Just take a few seconds just to very slowly reorientate yourself back to this room. And when you're quite ready, I'd like you to open your eyes and stand up straight again. I'll take your hand, put it down there. You all right? Excellent, thank you very much. All right, I'm going to get you to write those numbers down, I think, so they don't come out of your head. And again, if we need to, we can prove that really is what you were thinking of, if anybody doubts you later on. All right, please do that now. Again, I will look the other way. Obviously, don't let me see. Don't let anybody in the audience see either. Don't you think anyone could see and then let me know. This is entirely private just for you.
Okay.
Done that?
Done.
Just fold a bit of paper up, please.
Yep.
Again, I make this point, it's very important, because if I'm going to get you to write it down, you need to know I can't see it. We just hold it in your hand. You cannot see through there.
No.
You cannot see what number's written. All right? Then put it in your pocket, please, and you can get it out of the way. That's great. Okay. All right, here's what I want you to do. We're going to choose a lady, actually, to come up here with you. So let's just do this first. Where's the kitten at the moment? Kitten's up there. Great. Will you throw it? I will take the nearest lady, so wherever it lands, we'll just pass it to the nearest lady. Give it a throw anywhere you like. Actually, let's give it another throw as well, just to get it out of this central block. And also, that's my mother, so that would be... Great. Stand up for me. What's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie, very good to meet you. Why don't you leave the kitten there and head up here. Charlie, ladies and gentlemen, come and sit in the chair there for me. Thank you very much indeed. Charlie, if you just take a seat over there for me. Excellent, and put your feet flat on the floor. Great. Face the front for a moment, then look up at me. Take a deep breath in, and then sleep. And just sink right the way down and right the way deep. And right the way sound asleep. Again, still hearing, understanding everything that I do. And again, I'm not really hypnotizing you. I'm synchronizing you over here with Krishnan. So this will allow it to work. So as you do this for me, I want you to remain in that state. But at the same time, I'm just going to sit you back a little bit in the chair. And you can let this even relax you even more because you can become more comfortable. Good. As you stay there for me, I'm going to place a blindfold on you. So you know that Charlie is not going to receive any clues that she shouldn't, any visual clues. So I'm going to put this on you. I know I'm going to catch all your hair up, but it will only be for a second. Okay, I'm also going to give you a whiteboard and a pen. And what I'd like you to do for me, just for a moment, let me just give you this to hold. So you're going to hold that there, it's a whiteboard, and that there. Also going to give you a pen. Please mind your fingers on the nib. I'll just give it to you like that. You're going to place that against the board like that for me. Perfect. All right, Charlie, let me explain what I want you to do. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to start counting out loud, backwards, from 500. You don't have to go all the way to 0, and it doesn't matter if you lose track. You can just carry on from wherever feels right. But what's important is that as you do this, as you count out loud, you're just going to allow the pen to move at the same time. So in other words, you're consciously focusing on the counting, but unconsciously you're letting your hand write whatever it's going to write, okay? So you only focus on the counting, but you must keep the pen moving and writing, drawing, scribbling, whatever. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, don't start yet. You'll start when I tell you to, all right? Stay there for a second for me. Krishnan, if you could just face the front for me. You've got 2 digits in your head. You're going to send these 2 digits across to Charlie. Take a moment just to turn and look at Charlie. And then look back there again. And I want you to start sending those 2 numbers just in your head. You say nothing out loud. Start sending them now. Charlie, start counting now. Out loud. 500. Out loud.
500.
499. 498. Keep counting. Start the pen moving. You're sending those 2 numbers across now. So in your mind, you're sending them across the stage, starting to turn up the volume. Keep the pen moving. Keep the pen moving, Charlie. Moving. And 496, 495, 494. Keep counting. One and then the other. Over and over and over again. Until you're turning up the volume so loud that it's as if you're screaming the matter. Screaming like you want to pick her up and shake them. Keep going. Keep counting. Keep counting. Screaming the matter in your mind what those numbers are. Over and over again and over and over again. Then both of you stop right there. Both of you stop. Okay. I don't want you seeing what she wrote. I'm going to ask you just to face this way for a second, Krishnan. Please don't look. All right, just keep those 2 numbers in your head for a moment. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the pen off you. Just let that hand just relax on your lap. And put the hand on the lap as well. All right, okay. If you see a number here, please don't say anything. I can sort of see 1, and I'm not sure about this one here. If I let the camera see that too, I would say, you've got to help me out if you think I'm wrong, but please don't say anything out loud. This one here is probably that. Would you go with that? We've got that first. So can you guys see that too? The second one could be twice that, or there is a sense of it being that as well. Yeah? You think that as well? Okay. Would you go with that? Can you guys see over there as well? Yes? Okay. Just going to give you this to hold. And that there as well. Okay, I think I'm just going to write these up on the board just so you guys can all see what we're looking at. We're looking at one of those, pretty much definitely, and then either that or maybe that. Yep. Christian, please, no peeking. Face the front for me. This may not work. Let me get you the mic. Stay right there. This may not work. All right, Christian, you were trying to send 2 numbers across there, okay? Without looking at what she's written, what was the first... Actually, what was the second number you were trying to send?
5.
Okay, we'll allow ourselves that. And what was the first number?
4.
Then you got it absolutely spot on. Christian, thank you so very, very much. Yeah. Hang on a second. Sorry.
There's something even weirder, which is the telephone number that has come from is somebody called Charlie.
Really? Who can explain these things? Thank you very much indeed. Christian, ladies and gentlemen, back you go. Thank you so much. And let me just take this off. You take a few seconds just to come back. You all right? You back with us? Refreshed? That you did get it. You pretty much got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Charlie, ladies and gentlemen. Back you go. Well done, Charlie. All right, something I'd like you all to do for me, please. Put your feet flat on the floor. And then take a look up at the light up there in the center. If you can all just do that for me and get comfortable. I would invite you, as you look up at that light, just to notice, first of all, that you're breathing. As you relax, your breathing will become a little more regular, a little heavier, and that's fine. And also that you'll begin to notice your eyelids getting a little bit heavier. And I would invite you, as you look up there at the light, just to begin to let your eyelids get heavy. Now, if you don't want to do this, it's fine. You just keep your eyes open, and that'll be absolutely fine too. I'd invite you to let them grow heavy and just close quite comfortably so that I can talk to you at a level that you can really kind of understand what I'm saying. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, and the reason why I'm asking you kind of to relax and to focus and just experience in this way for a moment, is because all the way through this show up to this point, there's something that I've been doing. I've been dropping little things in to make you forget the show when you leave at the end. I'm just letting you know this now so you're not too alarmed. It won't work on all of you, but those of you that have the best gift for picking up on this kind of thing will find that when you leave, you won't be able to remember anything in the show. Your memory of the show will go as soon as you walk out of this door. And it is, for the moment, a little bit like walking down a staircase, isn't it? And sort of relaxing a little more with each step that you take and sinking right down into it. But I'm going to count you back. When I say 0, you can open your eyes. You'll be absolutely fully back here listening to me, of course. I'm not hypnotizing you. I'm just talking to you at a level that you can really understand what I'm saying. So, from 5, 4, don't open them till 0. It makes it easier. 3, 2, 1, 0. You can open your eyes, and of course, you're absolutely wide awake as you've been throughout that whole thing. Lovely. Good. So, a slightly weird thing was happening. When I was inviting you all and sending your invitations out and kind of working out who was going to come, I wanted to make sure that you kind of covered a fair sort of part of London, like a big sort of range of London. And I ended up going through the A to Z as I was sending them out just to make sure that I was, covering all areas of the map. And inadvertently, I realized that I was remembering the grid references of where you live in the A to Z. So in other words, I realized that when I knew your streets, I would also know your grid references, or if somebody told me the grid reference, I'd be able to get your streets. So I just want to try this as a kind of a memory exercise. If you are happy for us to say the street that you live on, and you live in London, I mean sort of Greater London, this is the big A to Z I was using. Will you just put your hand up for me? I'd love to just try this. Just put your hand right up. Okay, great. Now, whoever's got the kitten, you need to just throw it out to somebody. Keep your hands up for me. Just, it's going to be somebody's got their hands up. Great. I think that's going to be you then. Would you stand up for me? Okay, all right. And again, just to reiterate, so you don't think anyone's helping me, please, you're welcome to take a look around the back. No one's going to be holding anything up to help me. And again, please, no earpiece or anything like that. Do check for me. Nothing in there? Nothing in there? And nothing in there? No, nothing. Sure. All right. It's just important this is just me doing this. All right. So, what's your name?
Masood.
Masood. Okay, you can put the kitten down. You look slightly silly, so that's good. Masood, will you just tell me then, just tell me the road that you live in. I don't want to know what area of London it is or anything like that. Just tell me the road, the street name.
Harbridge Avenue.
Harbridge Avenue. Is that H-A-R?
Yes.
B-R-I-D-G-E, yes? Harbridge Avenue. Great. I'm going to pass you an A to Z. Okay, I'd like to get this up there. So if you can pass that up to Masood. You can just start looking it up. If you do find it, please don't let anybody see where you are on the map. I think I can tell you, if you're looking it up in the index, I think I can tell you it is it's square 7B On page 100, I think. Can you go to page 100 and take a look at 7B? I think I'm right. Go to page 100 for me. It's just below Harbour Yard, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you got it? Is that it? 7B, page 100, yes? Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Okay, I lied to you. I didn't really do this. I didn't really send out your invitations and then cross-reference you with the A to Z. That would be ridiculous and impractical. In fact, what I did was a lot simpler. I just learned all of that. I've learned the whole of the A to Z for Greater London. I'm not making that up. I've genuinely done this. It's taken me about 4 months to do this. I'm not 100% on all of it, but I will do my best for you. This sort of taps into when I was studying law at university, and I had to memorize huge chunks of legal information that I had no interest in at all. So I'm going to try and do this with a few more. So why don't you just give it a good throw, somebody. Just please, somebody catch it, because it's heavy. Anyway you like. Just throw it to somebody else. Nice and hard. Great. Perfect. Stand up for me. Stand up for me, sir. Okay, what's your name?
Lee.
Lee, yes?
Lee.
Okay, Lee, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to ask you, Lee, just to open the map up anywhere you like and go to a page. If possible, don't let anybody look over your shoulder. You don't think anyone's going to help me. But can you just tell me the page number that you're on, Lee?
132.
132.
Yeah.
132. Okay, all right. Now, what I want you to do to find, I'm just trying to picture that in my mind. I want you to find on page 132 something that dominates one square, because the idea is I'm going to get you to tell me a grid reference, and I'll try and tell you what's in that square. So please don't pick a square that got loads of tiny little roads in it, otherwise I won't know which one you're thinking of. But just, if you can find something like a playing field, or a building, or a clear road, or something that dominates one square. Have you got something?
Yeah.
Okay, and then just tell me what the grid reference is, and I'll try and tell you what's in it.
4C.
4C, C for cat,
Yeah.
yes? Okay, here's what I've got. I've got 132. The image I have in my mind for that is a ventriloquist doll. And 4C is for the sea. So he's got, it's water. Hang on. There's a lot of water, and it's something like, in my mind I've got a snake in water. It's something, a boa, I think it's a boa reservoir. It's a reservoir, something boa reservoir. What is it? What are you looking at?
Besborough Reservoir.
Besborough Reservoir, yes? That's great, thank you very much. All right. Thank you, let's try this again. Boa and borough mixed up in my mind, how frustrating. All right, okay. Why don't you, we'll throw it again, just do this slightly differently. Anywhere you like, you can go over there if you like, or back over here, don't mind, give it a chuck, anybody you like.
Mind your
Lovely, stand up for me. Right, what's your name, sir?
Bill.
Bill, why don't you head down with the A to Z, Bill? Let's give Bill a hand. Down you come, Bill. Bill, I get to meet you. Hello, Bill. I'd like you to come over to the mic for me. And there's a highlighter pen. I've just put that table there, and there's a highlighter pen there for you as well. Little tip, you want to take your coat off in the theatre, or else you won't feel the benefit. Here's what I want you to do. Actually, I won't even look. I want you to go to the index at the back of the map, all right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you, because basically what I've learned is the index and the grid references. I'm going to ask you to give me any road that you like on the... you're not one of our cabbies, are you?
Yeah.
You are? Excellent. That's great. That's great. You've got a sort of a cabbie thing about you. I want you to have a look at any road that you like in the index. But please, now you'll know, this is great because you'll know this. Don't pick a road that you know is very well known or huge, all right? Try and pick one that you think is pretty obscure. Ideally, one that you wouldn't even know yourself. Have you got one?
Yep.
All right, into the mic. Just tell me what the road name is. Into the mic, please, so we can all hear.
Halkin Street.
Can you spell that for me?
Halkin.
Halkin. Halkin
Street.
Street. Okay, that's a good one. Can you pick up the highlighter pen there? I'd like you to highlight that for me, please, so you don't lose it, and just hang on to that for a minute. Okay, let me just try this again. Can I just ask you just as quiet as possible for a second while I try and do this? Lee, I need you to keep facing the front. Please do not look back here. Keep facing the front, and don't let me look in the book either. If you want to hold that up to you a little bit, that's great. Okay, let me try and do this. Okay, all right. Please just keep facing the front for me. Let me just give this a go. All right, you've highlighted the road. The road again was... Can you spell it?
Halkin Street.
Oh, spell that again for me.
Halkin, Halkin.
Halkin.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got this right. Okay, Halkin Street. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look for the moment, forget the grid reference, I want you to look at the page you're actually physically on in the map. And so if you look down at the bottom corner of the page in the index, there should be a page for it. I think it's the left corner, I think.
Yeah.
What is the page that you're on?
224.
224! Excellent, all right, hang on. Don't look behind your knee, keep facing forward. All right, there are 5 columns, please be right. There are 5 columns going from left to right. Which column are you in?
Third.
The third column! Save it till the end, save it till the end. All right, for the moment, ignore the one that you've highlighted, all right? Just ignore that for a minute. I want you to look at the grid reference above it in the index, okay?
Yeah.
Nice and clearly, please read out what it is.
3E84.
Yes, all right! And then, I want you to read out the one below it, below the one that you've highlighted. Okay, what's the one below the one you've highlighted?
Is 5D126.
5D126! Which means that Halkin Street, hang on, which means then that Halkin Street, the one that you've highlighted, is 2E84, is that right?
That's correct.
Yes! Excellent, thank you very much indeed. Lee, thank you so much. Hang on to that, keep it as a souvenir. I want you to go back. Thank you, Lee, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Lee. Excellent, thank you. So, where's Henrietta? Where are you, Henrietta? Excellent, stand up for me again. So, you chose this one.
Yep.
And you stuck with that one all the way through. You haven't changed your mind.
Yep.
You've been quite strong-minded about that. I'm going to ask you to come up and just make your final decision. Let's have another hand for Henrietta, please. As she comes up, thank you so much indeed. I'll ask you to stand right there for me. Okay. I'm going to give you a clue here before you make your final decision. All right? I wouldn't normally do this, of course. It's a special night tonight, so I'm going to give Henrietta a big clue. Here is your clue. You're wrong. It's in that one there. That is your clue.
Okay.
Now, I realise, of course, in me saying that, Henrietta's not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me. Why would I tell you it's in there when I'm trying not to make you win the cheque? I could probably guarantee that would make you just want to stick with that one even more. Of course, if you think about it, yeah? So you might think I'm saying this there just to catch you out, just to make you stick with that one. So if you think I'm trying to catch you out, catch me out, Henrietta, and go for that one. Yeah? Or if you think I'm just being honest with you, it's still there. Tell you what, before you make up your mind, open up the envelope I gave you, and I want you to read out nice and clearly, right from the very top, please, into the microphone, what it says.
So 3 brief points before you make up your mind. 1, I told the audience you would pick the envelope on the left, the one that now bears a cross. I then made you pick it. I told you I did this, but despite the fact that you knew this throughout the show, you'll still stick with it and not change your mind. 2, after you've read this out, I'll give you 3 seconds of silence to make your final decision. You still won't change your mind. To do so would seem like a sign of weakness.
Fair point, I think.
3, even though you've just read this, even though I told everyone, including you, which one I wanted you to pick, even though everyone knows you've been making the wrong decision, even though I'm telling you that I always make it happen this way, despite all these things, you are still going to refuse to change your mind.
Henrietta, if I could just genuinely take this opportunity to wish you the very best of luck. For £1,000, are you going to change to that one, or are you going to stick with that one over there? Here we go, 3 seconds of silence. I'm going to give you the 3 seconds. Look at me. 3. Into the mic, please. Which one do you want? Say clearly which one you want and point at it.
I'll take that one.
That one there. You're sticking with this one here?
Yep.
All right. Not the first time this has happened. Slightly excruciating it's happening tonight, but actually congratulations. It's great that this happens sometimes, and you will know that it's real and so on. So, no, please do go and help yourself. I won't touch it. Just reach in, take it out. Do show them very clearly, please, as you take it out. Just pull it straight out the top and show them. Do show them clearly. I recommend a gold frame, by the way. It really brings out those chest feathers. Thank you so much. If you want to just reach in there, take out what was in the other one. Take it out for me. And then you hand that straight back, you thief. I'll send you back to your seat. Henrietta, back you go as I wave goodbye to you with a cheque for £1,000. Thank you very much indeed. Henrietta, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you, Henrietta. Well done. All right, thank you. There's just one thing I want to do before I let you actually go. Because I did all that work with the A to Z. I've got it all in my head. There's just one more thing I want to do before you actually go. Where are the cabbies again? Can I just get you to stand up? Thank you. I'm just going to ask you your names. I just need to see you and just hear you for a second. Oh, first of all, I have not met any of you before. I have not spoken with you or met you, correct? No. All right, great. What's your name, please?
David.
David, thank you, David. Okay, great. Let me just need to look at you for a second. And what's your name?
Freddie.
Freddie, great to meet you, Freddie. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, and your name, please? Paul. Paul. And I'm sorry, you up there? I didn't see you.
George.
George. Great, and not Ringo, is it? By any chance?
Me.
Just look at me. I'm going to go, Paul, I'm going to go for you. Is that all right? Rest of you can sit down, Paul. Why don't you head up here? Let's give Paul a big hand as he comes up. Thank you, Paul. I won't embarrass you at all. You'll be fine. Come head over here for me, Paul. Okay, Paul. These are the pages from the A to Z. These are the pages you can see. I've torn them out and I've literally just put them all next to each other. You can see that really is what these are, yeah? Yeah. How long have you been a cabbie for?
8 years.
8 years, great. So you've got a good working knowledge of most of this, yeah? A lot of this is, clearly in your mind, yes?
This.
Just that one little bit there. Okay, well, you've got a working knowledge of the whole thing, I hope. I mean, you guys are amazing. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you this. I want you to hold it in your left hand. Great, thank you very much for coming up and doing this, by the way. Just look at me. I'm just going to leave that there and just sort of let that just sleep there for a minute. You can just look right at me. Good. As that just stays right there. Here's what we're going to do. I want you to imagine now that someone's got into your cab, and we're going to play an imaginary game. I want you to imagine they've asked to go to a destination. Right? We're going to call this Destination X. So they're going to go to Destination X. Don't be distracted. I think that's one of the pyros for the end of the show. We'll just keep going. So, what I need you to do for me is just to spend a moment as you think about that destination that they want to go to. If there's any picture that you can make of wherever it is they want to go, of that destination, just try and do that for me now. Just spend a moment just forming a picture in your mind nice and clearly. Okay, have you got a picture now? Mm-hmm. All right, great. Thank you. Just going to put your hand down there for a second. You can just relax that down to your side there too. All right, now you know where the destination is. Let's think about the starting point. Let's imagine you're in your cab, but you're no more than 1.5 miles away from Destination X. Okay? So let's imagine that they get in the cab. Now, you can see this guy doesn't know London very well. You can see he's rich. And he's foreign as well. Let's be frank, Paul. Let's not mince words. You're going to give him a little bit of a ride, all right? You're going to take him on a bit of a roundabout route to Destination X. Not for a moment does this reflect on you. I'm sure you would never do this, but purely as a kind of an imaginative game, as a thought exercise, you're going to take him on a roundabout route to get from wherever you are to Destination X. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Great, okay. If I take your hand here, I want you to look right at me. As I bring your hand up, it's going to let your eyelids just start to close now, just like that. That's great. And as your hand comes down, you can just relax more and just sink right into this for me so you can really sink and just drift. That's great, and just float. And as you do this for me, I'm going to take your hand here, and with your eyes closed, that's perfect. In a moment, I'm just going to touch you on the shoulder, and I want you then to start imagining the journey from the starting point to Destination X, going a roundabout route. Now, the route that you take and the turnings you take are entirely up to you, of course. You're going to make this up as you go along. All I ask is that as you do it, that you really clearly in your mind visualize and almost feel the turnings that you're taking, whether they're to the left or to the right. So what I'd like you to do is to start that for me now. Visualizing that journey, really taking each turning and just really feeling each time that you take a turning. Visualizing it so you remember this route. Keep going, take your time, you take as long as you like. When you're finished and you've arrived at the destination, you're just going to say, I'm here, and then you're going to open your eyes for me. You take all the time that you need.
I'm here.
Great, open your eyes for me, put your hand down. Okay, great. Apologise for holding your hand, I know a lot of cabbies are uncomfortable with that, especially when they're driving. Will you just find where you started? Where was your starting point? Will you point that out for me? Where's that?
Buckingham Palace.
All right, great. So I'm going to put a little cross there at Buckingham Palace. Okay. You're going to talk the route through with me from Buckingham Palace all the way to wherever your destination is. All right? Mm-hmm. Where are we going from here? Just talk me through. We're on Buckingham Palace Road. Do you want to go down there, or where did you end up?
Constitution Hill.
Constitution Hill, coming along there. So I'm going to start to draw the route, and you're going to tell me where we're going to go.
Hyde Park Corner.
Hyde Park Corner, where from Hyde Park Corner?
Up Park Lane.
Okay, this is the route that you took. Please do not change it. Whatever that route was in your mind, you mustn't change it now, all right? So going up Park Lane, yes? Yep. Right to the top?
Yep, to Marble Arch.
To Marble Arch. Where now?
Bayswater Road.
Bayswater Road. So we're going to go along here. We're going down Bayswater Road. Past Lancaster Gate?
Yep, into Notting Hill Gate.
To Notting Hill Gate, right to the end here. So now we're here. Where from Notting Hill Gate?
Into Holland Park Avenue.
Into Holland Park Avenue. So we keep on going straight?
Yeah.
Right the way across?
Yeah.
Right the way to Holland Park?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
To Holland Circus, yeah.
To Holland Circus. Okay, where next? Where from Holland Park?
Straight over.
Straight over. Where to?
Into Shepherd's Bush Green.
Shepherd's Bush Green. Here? Where from here?
That's it.
That's it? So that was your final destination?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit of a roundabout route. What route would you have normally taken then?
Along here and up here.
Along there and up there. So you've taken a longer route, which is great. Okay, so thank you for that. What are we talking? How much would that cost?
£8.
£8 or so, which is a lot more than you normally get for that journey, yeah? Okay, great, okay, that's fantastic. So you end up at Shepherd's Bush Green. Let me write that up there. Shepherd's Bush Green. Okay, and the grid reference for that, can you just check that for me? We're on, just come in so you can check this for me. It's 2E, yes?
Yep.
2E and page?
82.
82, yeah, that's 83 that just sort of starts there. So you happy with that? 2E, 82, yes?
Yep.
Yep, okay. 2E, 82. All right. Does that feel fair?
Yep.
Yep, okay, I mean, you started anywhere you like. I mean, actually, bearing in mind you could have gone anywhere, you've gone for, if you don't mind me saying, a fairly conservative route. That obviously shows you're a nice guy and an honest cabbie, but that's great. Bearing in mind you had free permission to go anywhere, but you've clearly gone around the houses a bit. Great, that feels fair, yes? Let me show you how fair it was. You've got the envelope behind you there. Open up the envelope. You need to take out a sheet of white folded card. Just take it out and hold on to it. Don't unfold it yet. Just hang on to it for a second for me. Shepherd's Bush Green, 2E82. Yes? Unfold that, show everybody. We've got 2E82 is what it should be. What have you got? 2E82. Spot on. Let me take that for you. 2E82. Have you got that? Thank you very much indeed. Well done. You got it spot on. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Wait. It feels weird, doesn't it? Yeah. It feels weird because you could have started anywhere. You started over here by Buckingham Palace. And those turnings that you were taking, the routes that you decided to go left or right, entirely up to you as you went along. You were making that up as you went along, yes?
Yep.
It feels weird. Open up the envelope as well. Inside there's also there's an acetate sheet, which you would have seen if you take that out for me. And if you open that up, no, not that, just the acetate sheet. Put that back in for a second. Okay, and what is that? What can you see on there?
This way round.
It says this way round and a red line.
Yeah.
This was the route that I wanted you to take, the last bit of the journey. If you just lay that over it, that is the route that I wanted you to take, even though I gave you permission to go anywhere you like. You still went in a straight line. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to give you that. You did it perfectly. One more thing. There is one more thing in there. Just take it out for me. Hang on a second. One more thing. Take it out for me. What is that?
A receipt.
A cab receipt for how much?
£8.
For £8. Of course it is. That's me. That's it. You go back to your seat. Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Thank you all very much. Thank you for choosing 2E82. And thank you for choosing the destination I had in mind. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for your attention tonight. And thank you for playing. Good night.
Remember what happened in there at all. It's quite uncomfortable and very confusing.
I remember a large room, lots of clapping, a brick wall, lights, but I can't remember anything else, no specific incident. It's really weird. I didn't think I was susceptible to things like that.
He said think of a number. I thought of a couple of numbers, and then I thought of my friend down the road who works in a lawyer's office, and bizarrely her name was Charlie, which was also the name of the girl who was guessing, and then I thought of 4 and 5 and that was it.
I'm an NLP practitioner and I don't know how he does that, and I would like to know how he leads the person into saying and thinking what it is that he is. So he does a lot of transference. He's very, very clever at it.
I remember a loud bang. I remember Krishna falling asleep. That was hilarious, but I can't remember much more than that. That's the honest truth. I remember the Loud Bang and Shepherd's Bush Green.
I don't think I could do what he's done. He's memorised, as I say, 25,000 different street names with grid references. He's good. He should take up the knowledge.
I remember something about mice, or mouse, or something like that.
I've gone blank.
When it comes to trying to tell you what I can remember, there's nothing substantial there really. There's nothing that I can say, yeah, that definitely happened.
No, there was a triangle.
You've forgotten the rest of it, haven't you?
There was, yeah. I remember the end.
I really enjoyed the show, I remember some of the,
The thing was, we were brought here in a blacked-out coach. So I was sitting with Jonathan, Ross and Jane, and we were convinced we were going to be killed.
We're hoping we're not in Preston, and there's a gang of Asbo kids with hoodies outside with sharp sticks ready to take us on.
And where are we?